All right, guys. Well, I'm so excited to have you all on here tonight. Today is Thursday, August 13th, and I'm so excited because tonight we get to listen to an awesome coach on the team, Kerri, and I'm so excited to hear what she has to say, and I know you guys are going to be able to relate to her and really just listen to her story and how she talks about how consistent she's been since she started this business back in October. Um, she literally has had so many different things thrown her way along this journey, and she's a busy person. She's a nurse, she's a mom, she's married, she has so many different things going on. But she has been able to stay consistent with this and make it work. So she's going to be talking about that in a few minutes, and I'm just so excited for you guys to hear her. So before I turn it over to Kerri, I'm not going to blab too long because I want to be able to have her talk for as long as she can. I just wanted to give a couple shout outs and let you guys be able to congratulate your coaches on any rank advancements. But I wanted to just say congratulations to Gina for earning her free ticket to Summit next year. It's completely sold out. So the only way really, guys, to be able to get into this is if you hit Success Club your first 3 full calendar months as a coach. So if you're a new coach, that should be on your to-do list. That should be a goal of yours. Make sure that you guys lock it in at least Success Club 5, your first 3 full months. I don't have any rank advancements today, but I know we had some others on the team page. So if you guys want to unmute yourself, you can shout out your rank advancements. Anybody? I think Lauren had someone.
I was trying to film, sorry. She's not official till next Thursday, but Nicole is going to be Emerald, and she just started, so I'm very excited for her. Nicole's on here somewhere.
Oh, great, congratulations. And I know too, Kim Fortner, are you on the call right now? I think she is, but she's one of my coaches, and she became an Emerald coach today too as her first week as a coach. So she kind of hit the ground running right off the bat. So she's doing great too, so congratulations to her. I think Lauren had some people too, but when she gets on, before the call ends, I'll turn it over to her. And I also wanted to say welcome to Brandy. She's a brand new coach. I just introduced the team yesterday, so she's really excited to be here, and she's looking to make this a full-time business for her so she can spend more time at home with her kids. So I'm really excited to see where she goes with this. Just a couple things here that I wanted to touch base on about our housekeeping items. There's going to be a brand new Coach Basics. Tim Carver had a big call on it. He has spent a lot of time, and all the people in corporate have spent a lot of time putting together a really incredible Coach Basics that will be starting in September. So I know that I had said that I had originally wanted to revamp all of ours. I'm going to be holding off on that because I want to go through the Coach Basics that corporate is putting together. And I think everyone should go through it, even if you've already gone through a Coach Basics. So I'm going to be going through it myself because I think it'll be really helpful. So you guys can put that on your list for September. For Success Partners, I know I asked you guys to write in the page if you didn't have one. To be honest, the team has grown so big that people were commenting, and I don't even know who everybody is. So if you can just make sure that you reach out to your upline coach, I'm going to work my best to put people together as I can. But just make sure to reach out to your upline coach if you don't have one, and they will work with you to make sure that you get paired up with someone if you don't already have one already. Team Cup Month is going on right now, so just make sure that you guys stay connected with your team. Make sure that you guys are doubling up on the 3 vital behaviors every single day, doubling up on those invites and your follow-ups, and make sure you stay consistent with your posting on Facebook. And make sure you guys ring the bell on the team page. It's a pinned post. Each time you guys sell a challenge pack or sign a new coach, just make sure you go back to that post and comment on it. And we're trying to ring the bell 200 times this month. So we're trying to change 200 lives and help 200 people get started on their health and fitness journey. So I totally think that we can do this. All right. So before I blab all night long, I want to turn it over to Kerri. And like I said, she's a huge inspiration to me. really, guys, you know, every now and then you come across someone in your life that is just seriously such a kind soul. Kerri is that person. I'm not kidding. She does not have a bad bone in her body. I swear to God, she is like the sweetest person. Like me and Nick always say all the time, like how she's just like the sweetest, kindest, caring person. She has like the biggest heart, and she just is just an awesome person. And I'm so glad that I've been able to get to know her along this journey. That she's been able to become a good friend of mine. So with that being said, I wanted to turn it over to Kerri D'Amico.
Good. Kathy, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have the relationship with you guys too. So this has been a great opportunity. Thanks for asking me to talk tonight. So, hey everybody, can you hear me okay? Yeah, cool. Thanks. All right. So as Kathy said, I am a mom, a wife, a daughter, a friend, a nurse, you know, just like a lot of us out there. So I've been married to my husband for 8 years. At the end of this month, his name's Jim. He's sitting over there, and I told him he was making me nervous by sitting over there listening in, but he's not going anywhere. So I guess I just got to deal with it. But, oh, and he says hi. And I'm excited to have some of my team here listening. I think my parents are going to be listening in. So that actually makes me more nervous than everybody else. But anyway, so a little bit about me other than being married. We have 2 kids. They're 4 and 2, Ace and Avery. You probably see their pictures all over your news feed for those people that I'm friends with. And they're awesome, but they're a handful. They start school on Monday, and I'm excited about that. We moved to Florida about 2 years ago from New Jersey. That's where I grew up, and all my family's still up there. So that was a really big deal for us. Avery was 3 months, Ace was 2.5, and that's a lot for those of you that have kids, and moving that far away, it was definitely difficult. But I got a job pretty quickly working night shift, and I've been working night shift almost for the past 10 years of my nursing career. So that adds another loop of crazy into my life, but I'll be going to days in the next 2 weeks. So that's exciting. And let's start with my why. Why did I get into coaching? Kathy just made it look so good and so appealing. No, I definitely had some personal goals for myself to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And I just saw some of the changes and just the amazing things with Shakeology and with 21 Day Fix. And that's kind of where it started. When I was looking at the kind of business plan and I talked to my husband about it, I've done some direct sales things in the past, and we were skeptical. He was more skeptical than I was, but I promised that I would cover our Shakeology within the first 2 months, 2 bags. So that's kind of tough for me to do, I thought at first, but I did it by November. I started at the end of September last year, so my first full month was October. So by November, I was covering that Shakeology, and I've been running with it since. At first, when Kathy asked me to speak tonight, I was a little skeptical with that too, because I have still not yet to get to Diamond. That's been my goal since January. So I guess you would think that if you had that goal and you didn't hit it, you would have given up. But I've been so encouraged by everybody, and I've been seeing changes in myself, changes in my team, and I can't stop now. I can't let people down that are on my team, people that have signed up under me in my challenge groups. What would that say about the business? What would that say about me personally, just giving up that quickly? So another thing with my why that's kind of changed a little bit more than just covering my Shakeology. Over the next few years, I would like to eventually really back off my hours with nursing, maybe even leave the hospital setting. I'd like to pursue more lactation consulting along with Beachbody, kind of broadening my horizons a little bit, having a lot more flexibility with my work, and see where it goes from there. But we just closed on a short sale up at our house in New Jersey, and so we have 3 years to save up to buy and to pay off a whole lot of debt. So that's huge. That's huge for us. I know a lot of you all are there too, just doing this to pay off debt, to pay off school loans, to just make the bills work, and survive. So that's part of why I'm doing this as well. Let's see. So my fitness journey, it started, I've actually been doing Beachbody for a lot longer than just 10 months. My brother was doing Insanity. He's been doing Insanity for about 4 years. and he got me set up with it after I had ACE, shortly after I had ACE. And so I did Insanity, and then I was 7 weeks into the program, and then I found I was pregnant with Avery. So I kind of stopped doing that because I had zero energy, and that was the end of Beachbody workouts until a little bit later, till after we moved. I gained your typical pregnancy weight, not anything crazy. After we moved down to Florida, I got into Chalene Extreme and Pio. I got those right after Pio came out. And then a couple months later is when Kathy contacted me about 21 Day Fix and Shakeology. So kind of bummed I didn't get the discount for all those other programs. But, it's just, I knew that these products worked, and then I just really liked doing them. I liked being able to work out at home. So that's part of my fitness journey. And what I've mostly learned over the past 10 months of coaching is really just being consistent with the business and just sticking with it. And the results will happen, and your team will grow, and it can totally be doable with a full-time job without stressing out your family, without stressing yourself out and burning yourself out. So I have 5 points for you all tonight. So if you're taking notes, 5 points. Let me take a sip of water here. So you may have heard some of these points before, but they're always important to just keep in mind as you're working the business. So my first point is consistency is key. Like we mentioned, consistency is key. I don't have it perfected. It's becoming more of a routine. I'm getting into a rhythm of how I like to run things, what's worked for me. In the past, I've tried to play catch up. And I'm sure some of you well, if I don't message those 5 to 10 people or even more every day, then tomorrow I got to do 20 people or 30 people or whatever. But that can be so overwhelming, and it was for me. So if I don't hit that goal one day, then I just try to hit the goal the next day. So I try not to let myself get overwhelmed with that. 12-hour shifts, my schedule is so inconsistent that it's just hard to keep up with that. I, for a while, was trying to get some stuff done at night at work, but my work's been so busy, so I can't rely on that anymore. I also have a whiteboard that I use that I keep track of. I have my calendar on there, I have our group on there, and I also have my 3 vital behaviors that I have listed up there. So I have my workout, my Shakeology, and so that's my proof of the product. I have my personal development list on there, and then also inviting people. So I keep track of that. And then I have my notebook here, and I have all my notes on and everything. So it's a 3-subject notebook. My first section is all of my contacts that I've been making, all my contacts, my list of people that I have written down that I need to check off to be in touch with. Then my second section is my coaches and challenge groups, any other notes I need to put in there. My third section is all my personal development notes, team calls, wake-up calls, podcasts, all of that I have in that section there. So I'm about ready to get a new one, which is cool. This is actually my second or third notebook since we started here. So those are some ways that I keep consistent. So after a couple other things as far as online tracking, after I've been forming and messaging people, then I send them an email. I've kept pretty much every email that I've sent to people, and then I keep track of that. I have a template made out for 21 Day Fix, Pio, any information about Shakeology. It just makes it a whole lot easier when you can be more efficient with your time. And I have certain attachments that I attach to it. So as far as being consistent and efficient with that, that's how I keep track of that, and then I can go back. Similar situation with certain people, I can think back to that person and find their email in my email account and be able to copy and paste that in there. The challenge groups have been such a big way in helping me stay consistent. So I've probably run my own 6 or 7 challenge groups since I started. I've been a part of other ones, and I've run 21 Day Fix, Pio, and then a hybrid one. So what I found to be most helpful for me with a busy schedule is I've used Postcron, Postcron. I know some of you may be using that already. You get 10 free posts that you can do. So I would schedule 5 days out, and I would do 2 posts each day. One in the morning when I was doing the hybrid, one in the morning, and I would write in the workout for the day. and maybe a little motivational thing. And then in the afternoon, I would do another motivational post or a post from Beachbody's challenge group templates that they have, and make it my own. Not necessarily do it scripted word for word, because people who have been in repetitive challenge groups before might pick up on that and be like, hey, I saw that post before. This doesn't seem like as genuine. So, but that has really helped me stay consistent with myself and keeping myself accountable, along with keeping up with other people and motivating me to contact others, because I'm seeing success and changes in the people that I've gotten started. Okay. So that was my first point. Number 2, go for no. I know it's a common quote that we hear, but go for no. But why no? Don't we want to hear yeses? But you have to put your heart into it. You have to be genuine. You don't want to be that overbearing, salesy person. I actually don't want salesy people on my team, because that just does not work with this business. People see right through you. If you just message them and say like, hey, I've got this program, you want to check it out, or post up just about the program that's for sale or whatever, like, people just gonna ignore you or block you or unfriend you or whatever they're gonna do. But the personal contact I find to be the most effective way. So even though that's more time, don't expect people to reach out to you. You need to be reaching out to them, because this is hard for people to just step out of their comfort zone like that. So you need to meet them where they're at. And don't be intimidated by the no's. Ask open-ended questions so there can be no no's. They have to give a reason why they're not interested in a certain, just talking to you about their goals. But you're planting the seed and all of that. You're planting the seed. They're going to start thinking. Ariana, who's on my team, going to give you a shout out, girl. We met maybe like 5-6 months ago, something like that. We have a mutual friend, and we met on the beach, and we were just talking about the 21-day fix. I was wearing a 2-piece, and I was really self-conscious. It was the first time I was really wearing it out in public. And so we had talked about it, and I talked to her over Facebook that night, and she seemed really interested. And then a lot of stuff was going on, and she came back and was like, hey, I'm ready now. So maybe you were one of those people. Maybe you're one of Kathy's or Inez or whoever, Darlene, I see, Lauren, whoever, Joelle, anybody out there that you were reached out to by them, and over time you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll see if this is going to work for me. And you did. So there's going to be lots of people out there like you who want to step up their game maybe in a few months. So definitely keep track of those people. Don't just totally cross them off the list. Just no does not mean no forever. It means not right now. So I talked a little bit about just being genuine for people's well-being, and just caring about what's going on in their lives. Check their Facebook feed before you message them. Say, hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. And their grandma just died. Or just kind of being conscientious about what's going on in their lives before you send them this super energetic post. So number 3, cut through the tough. This is a tough area to be in. This, all of the no's that you might get, it's a lot of work that you put into up front, and you don't get the payment right away. You don't get the instant gratification with this business. It definitely takes a lot of time and energy, and you're going to feel beat down and run down and want to give up pretty quickly. So personal development has been my lifesaver. For me, my faith is really important. So I use my Bible. I have it's called YouVersion. It's an app I have on my phone. I have reading plans that I follow that's really helped me get through the whole mind game, because your mindset is the biggest player in this business, where your mindset is. Some books that are really good, Go Giver, Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey, and I've been reading The Slight Edge with our group, and that's been really awesome too. Colleen Eddy, she is a coach with Team Drop the Cookie. She has an awesome, awesome talk that she does called Mastering Your Mindset. And I was trying to find my notes back on that, but that's really been helpful when she's done that talk, and I've heard it on team calls, and she's done a couple podcasts about that too. So Mastering Your Mindset by Colleen Eddy. And let's see, I was reading a blog. I don't know if you've heard of Jen Hatmaker before. I believe she's had like a renovation TV show, and she also has a new book coming out. And I saw this quote on her blog actually yesterday. And this is where personal development is really important for me. But all fear and worry can go out, and only strength and goodness can come in. So remember that as you're trying to work through all of this. So let all the fear and worry get out of there. Whatever's keeping you from reaching out to that person or holding you back from just moving forward with your business, let that get out of the way, and only strength and goodness can come in. So number 4, this kind of goes along with that. Surround yourself with positive people. I had my news feed was full of negativity and people sharing political stuff or, whatever, negative, people complaining. I'm just over it. I know so many people that just get off of Facebook or get off of any form of social media just because of that. And it can consume you. You can just become so engrossed in it, and it just changes your mindset and keep you from being consistent with your goals and your accountability. And so just block those people. Just get rid of those negative people out of your life. And if you're one of those negative people, change it. Reach out to somebody here on this team. They can help you work through it and get yourself in a better situation, because you're the only one that can do that. So I've changed a lot of the people I follow. There's a lot of awesome coaches out there that just are positive but real, not over the top, but they're just real. They share what's going on in their lives and how they're making it into a positive situation. I also cut out a lot of TV. For example, when I was breastfeeding, I watched a lot of Netflix. I watched a lot of other junk on TV. I used to be a Real Housewives fan, and maybe some of you still are, but that crap would just mess with my head, and it just made me think negative things, and I wasn't very nice because of it. And I don't know why TV would affect me like that, but it does. Whatever you put your time into, it becomes who you are. And also reading and using relaxing music while you're trying to get some work done and everything. So just to go over those last few points, consistency is key. Go for no. Cut through the tough. And only positive people allowed. You need to be the light in this dark world. You need to be the light to the people that you're talking to. Be an inspiration to those people. So from The Slight Edge, this is the last quote I want to give you guys. I read this a couple days ago. There's a natural progression in life. Plant, cultivate, and harvest. So how can we use this in our business? We need to plant the seed with these people, like I mentioned before. Plant the seed, inviting them, forming with them, seeing what's going on in their lives, getting real with them, being genuine, helping them get started with the program and to change their life so in turn they can change others. Cultivating them through our team page, Coach Basics, the challenge group. That's just to help them grow, encouraging them to seek out other personal development podcasts, just filling your team's minds with things that they can grow from, help to build their business, and then harvest them, building to lead their own teams. And that's what I'm working on right now. And I didn't really have that mindset at the beginning. I was focused on paying the bills, focused on my own, like where I needed to be, but now where I'm closer to where I need to be, and now I can help my team grow a little bit more, and seeking out other people who will be able to help my team grow. So that's it for me. I know that was a little quick, but that's all I got. Do you guys have any questions? I think there's some in the chat. Uh-oh, there's a Mickey Mouse thing in here. All right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What are you mentioned asking open-ended questions so people couldn't just say no.
What are some open-ended questions?
Yeah, can you tell us what some of those
sure.
are?
So just when I'm messaging people initially, I just want to see how they're doing, what's new in their lives, being able to see that on their Facebook feed or whatever, or if I'm just cultivating a relationship with them because I just friend requested them. We have a mutual friend. How do you know so-and-so? what do you do? What's your career like? And then going into, I'm a wellness coach. I would love to help you with your health and fitness goals. Maybe you see they're already fit. What are you doing to stay fit? What's your nutrition like? That kind of stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought you meant like there were some open-ended questions that you asked about trying Shakeology or 21 Day Fix or something like that. But you're just talking about kind of like breaking the ice and getting.
Yeah, breaking the ice. And then also as far as open-ended questions about the actual program, if there's anything, if they're like, no, I'm not really interested in that, then asking them why. What are you doing instead? What's holding you back from doing something different for yourself? Because maybe, some people might be fit and active, but they need to change. They're bored with what they're doing. They're stressed out about the cost, about going to the gym, or they're thinking of quitting it. So
Okay, great. Thanks.
Sure. Anybody else? Cool. Well, thank you so much for letting me share, everybody. If you have any questions, you can just message me or whatever.
Kerri, you did so awesome. Seriously, you totally rocked out that call. There was so much good information in.
Yeah, if I talk too fast, if I need to clarify anything, let me know.
It's okay. I'm sure they could keep up. I talk really fast too. You did so great though. And, just listening to Kerri, I wanted to tell you guys that, one of the main things that she talked about was the fact that she's been so consistent with this business. And she's actually hit Success Club every single month since she signed on to become a coach. So she's going to be a Success Club All-Star in a couple more months when she hits her 1-year mark, which is really awesome. So that's a really big accomplishment. That's something else that you guys can strive to achieve too for yourselves. But just some of the key takeaways that I took away from listening to Kerri that I really liked was, I like how she was just talking about how, she was honest with herself when she got into this. And she had to figure out a way to make this work for her so that she didn't get burnt out. And so she wasn't like overexerting herself and wasn't taking too much time away from her family and, letting it affect her mood and whatnot. So I think that's really important that you guys can take that piece away and just be realistic with what your schedule is, because you don't want to burn out, and I feel like it's so hard sometimes for people to find that balance between, personal and business life. And so it's really important to be able to make this work, for you and for your schedule. Really sit down and think about it and come up with your business hours and when you're going to work it into your schedule. And if you can't do something one day, like Kerri said, don't beat yourself up over it and feel 10 times more stressed out, because all of that negative vibe is just going to feed into any conversation that you have with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
just like what she mentioned, that you want to be positive and, you want to be the light in someone's life. So you want to make sure that you keep everyone's relationships at the center of all of this and really what's best for them, because this whole business is about building relationships and nourishing relationships. And when she mentioned the whole thing from the Slight Edge book about planting, cultivating, and harvesting, I think a good piece to take away from that is to remember that even when you're connecting with people and you're reaching out to them, if they're not interested, don't just write them off, like she mentioned. Always stay in connection with them, even if it's not about Beachbody. I can't tell you how many actually friendships I've formed on Facebook with people who honestly have never purchased anything from me. But they've given me the positive feedback that I've helped them get started on their health and fitness journey, and that my posts are motivating them and they're so inspirational. So you just have to remember that we're dealing with people here, and that it's not just a challenge pack, it's not just a Success Club point. We're really truly trying to connect with people and touch people's lives to try to help them. And there are so many negative things. Oh, Kerri, you need to say something? Go ahead.
And I just think about how, no worries. I didn't mute myself, sorry. I would just think about how I got connected with you guys. I mean, with this team, I wouldn't have this if I didn't post on Mary's Shakeology post, and then you attacked me in a message. I wouldn't be here right now. And I think that that's awesome. So you never know who you're going to connect with, who's going to change your life by who you come across and who you just take that leap to contact.
Yeah, it's so true. Guys, that's how I met Kerri. My photographer that the pictures of the kids, you know. She was using the programs and the products, and she made one post on Facebook, and she has like hundreds of thousands of like followers. She's very popular, and you know, Kerri was one of the people that commented on the post. I don't even remember what she said, but I remembered messaging her. And I was like, "Oh, I saw you like the post, so you're interested in learning more about whatever." And then we just started talking, and here she is now. So you never really know who you're going to get. So that's why you got to make sure you talk to anyone and everyone. And like she said, just be genuine. You know, you don't want to be just reaching out to people and be like, "Hey, do you want to buy Shakeology?" or "Hey, you want to buy 21 Day Fix on sale this month?" You know, you really want to reach out to them and always connect with them on some personal level first before you invite them to your challenge group or before you invite them to whatever kind of challenge group you're going to be running next. And another good point too that I really like that she brought up was go for the no. You know, so many coaches come on and they're nervous to reach out to people and they're nervous to post on Facebook. And you can't think like that, guys, because, you know, if you want to help people, that's what this business is. When you get into this, you're an entrepreneur of your own business, going out trying to help people become healthier and happier. So people are not, for the most part, especially not right away, they're not going to come to you. I mean, even now for me at 13 months in, people do come to me, but it's not like a ton. I'm still doing a lot of the, you know, reaching out and private messaging people and, you know, consistently posting on the wall. So if you're not reaching out to people, nothing is really going to happen. And so you really have to seriously put that fear aside and just do it. And just think to yourself that people out there need you. They need help from you. And they're waiting for someone like you to come around and message them and help them get started, because most people don't know where to go. You know, literally 98% of the time, people are so thankful that you reached out to them. That's really what ends up happening. So if you're one of those people that's nervous, it's just one of those things, just, you know, do it. And I'm telling you, the more you do it, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And then it just becomes like second nature. And then you'll start getting comments from people on your wall about how thankful they are to you. And you'll start getting messages from them. And people will start calling you out and tagging you in posts because they've been able to make this positive change in them, all because of you. So you have to keep that at the center of all you do. You really do. And one last thing I wanted to mention about Kerri was, you know, right from the beginning, Kerri was just one of those coaches that came on and she just took the initiative to go out and do things all on her own. And I think that that's really important because this business is your own business. You're your own boss. So you have to have that entrepreneurial spirit deep-rooted deep down. You have to have that. You have to be willing to go out and learn for yourself and go out and run challenge groups. And that's something that Kerri did right from the beginning. You know, I didn't have to have hardly any really like major contact with her because as soon as she got on, you know, she shadowed me in a challenge group and then she's been running her own like ever since. Like that's what she does. And she makes them her own and she goes out and she watches different videos and she does her own personal development, what works for her. And she's constantly learning. So you have to kind of remember that this is your own business and that you want to, you know, go out there and take the initiative to take control of your own business. And that we're here to support you and give you all the tools that you need to be successful, but that you do need to be the person to at least start taking that step, that leader step. You know, you're leading the pack and you're leading your team. So I think that's great. I'm just going to check the chat here and see if there's anything. They all love you, Kerri. I can see it all in the chat box. How could you not? Yeah, Kerri said, you all can do it too. You will value this so much more if you take the initiative. It's true. And I mentioned it before, you know, I think maybe on last week's call, that Kerri has a long-term vision. And she even said it in this call, you know. There were a lot of times that she could have just been like, you know what, I just don't think this body coaching thing is for me. I've got way too much stuff going on. I'm exhausted from all the hours I'm working and the kids and the house and, you know, all these things that you could say. But she made a commitment to herself and to her family. And like she said, what would that be saying about herself if she just stopped? Like, what would that be saying to everybody else out there, all your friends and family who are watching you? You told them that you've taken on this role to run this business you can't just stop, when things get tough. If you went out and you took out a loan to open up your own restaurant or your own spa or whatever, and 3 or 4 months in or 6 months in, things were kind of getting rocky, you would be like, forget it, put the sale sign up, we're selling this thing, I'm done. No way. Like, you find a way to work through it. And this was something that was really important to her, so she made it work. So you have to keep the long-term vision in mind. This isn't an instant gratification thing. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Things don't happen overnight. You're putting in a lot of work and not seeing like an instant result right away. But over time, you will. It will compound. And I love that when I talked to Kerri last week on our one-on-one coach call, she was talking about her 3-year plan. And I think that that's just awesome because she's in this for the long haul, guys. And she's going to go straight to the top 2 with the rest of us who are going there on their way up there. She will be. I'm telling you right now, she'll be one day on that stage at Summit telling her story about all these bumps along the road and how she stayed consistent and she was dedicated to it and she had perseverance. And those are the key traits, guys, to have success in this business. So when when you're sitting there and you think you're tired and you think you should stop, honestly, this girl right here is a busy person. Does not get any more busy than what she is right now, honestly. And just think about that if she's making it work, you guys totally can make it work too. And that it'll be so worth it in the end, just to be able to control your whole future and really create this life by design down the road, Be willing to put in the time now for a couple years. I think it was in that Lindsay Matway video too that Lauren posted up in the team page the other day. I think it was. I can't remember where I saw it. It must have been though. But it was true. And this is what she said. Lindsay Matway, she's was one of the top coaches in the company, been doing this now for 5 years. And she said that she literally asked her coaches, and they come on, she says to them, if you could see yourself in 2 to 3 years from now, how would you be living your life? What would you be doing? What would that life look like? And the person goes ahead and says what they would want it to be like. And you can get that with this business opportunity right now. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. Put in the work now for 2 to 3 years to be able to live the rest of your life literally doing whatever it is that you want. Stress-free, complete freedom from so many different things. Financial freedom, you don't have a boss. You can pick up and go wherever you want with your family. None of those worries there. So put in the work now to be able to have a lifetime like that versus having to go in and work for someone else every single day till the day you retire. I think I'll choose the first choice, guys. Who's with me? Raise your hand if you want the first choice. This is the teacher in me coming out. Raise your hand. But it's so true, right? I mean, you guys can have all that. And it's right here, like packaged up all pretty and perfectly ready for you guys. And all of us have different goals with this, and we're all on different journeys, and we have different things thrown at us in different directions along the way. But just stay true to yourself and just go the distance, and it will be well worth it. So, all right. The financial freedom. It's true, and Kerri was just saying, yes, amen, the financial freedom. It really is true, though, guys. I mean, you don't do this, obviously, just for the money, and I was actually talking to Lauren today when I was at the beach with her, and I was just saying, the money is nice, and it's not even like I want to be able to do all these crazy things and have stuff. I really don't. I just want to be able to live a comfortable life so that way when things happen, like my front porch post over here that's like literally about to break off because it's rotting, that we can like have somebody come and replace it, without having to stress out about the like $400 or $500 it's going to cost. Like little things like that. Just being able to do those things and not be so stressed out about that. Because let's just be realistic here. The money thing, with things that you need to do to live your life, and especially if you own a home, that's a humongous stress. It's a huge stress for me, especially when you don't have the funds. And then things happen. It's like, oh my gosh, now we got to fix the 2 porch holes. The decks need to be repainted. They need to be stripped, repainted. It's like, well, we don't have the money for that right now. Like, that can't be done. It'll be nice that when things happen like that, you can just do them and not have to worry about it. You know what I mean? And then Michelle had a question down here too. A question about income and taxes when you're running someone else's account. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, Michelle, I think that the taxes would be sent, it would still be underneath the person's, if you're running, for example, I'm running my dad's account too. Like I'm growing his account. I'm trying to grow his account, you know? So it's all going to be under his name. So I told him that I would just take care of the taxes, you know, obviously, and I would cover the taxes for him. But it's all would be sent to him since the account is in his name. I don't know if that answered the question.
Well, have you consulted with your tax preparer yet about that?
Nick, have we consulted with the tax preparer yet about that? Well, last year we did, he said.
Oh, okay. I was kind of thinking that because I set up one for my husband and then one for my sister, and I was thinking that any income that went to her, I would just have her, you know, file the Schedule C with the income on it, but then have an expense in there for like commission to me or call it nominal income and take the same exact amount back out so that she's not actually paying tax on it. And then whatever amount actually goes to her, then I would pick up on mine. So that even though the 1099 gets issued to her in her name under her Social Security number, that I would still pick up the income.
Huh.
So I was just wondering if I was going to check with some of my associates, but I thought maybe you guys had already talked to your CPA about it and if you had something different that you were doing. But I was just thinking that was a good way to do it, you know, and I'm pretty sure I want to verify, but that would be legal and you know, the person actually making the money would be claiming it. And so you wouldn't be, you know, assigning that income tax to somebody in a lower bracket or something, like if your dad's retired or something like that.
Yeah, we have to figure that out this year. Her dad wasn't on. We just signed him up like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, we just signed him up.
It's like fairly.
Oh, okay. So you weren't doing that last year then?
So yeah, we'll definitely be talking to someone about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering if you'd gotten a different opinion, but I was going to check with some other accountants too to see what they thought. But
Yeah,
I would
information.
just wonder if anybody else was doing that and what they were doing and, you know, some other input. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I have to, like I said, we have to figure out our situation too because my dad's account is, you know, just a couple months in now, so we've got to talk to someone. But if you get any information before I do, just, you know, feel free to share it on the team page, just because that will be helpful. And just
Sure.
in terms of taxes, guys, and all that, just everything can be, you know, is a write-off. So just make sure that you're saving all your receipts and you're keeping track of all your expenses and putting them in an Excel spreadsheet, literally anything. And you can write off, you know, mileage. You can write off anything, like literally anything that you can associate with the business. So just make sure that you're keeping track of all that stuff along your way, on your journey here. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Or any shout outs or anything they need to do right now? Nope, good to go. Oh, here's one.
I wanted to shout out Melissa for hitting Emerald, but I don't think I think she was on and then she hopped off.
Aw.
I know, she was on earlier too. I saw her, but she must have hopped off. But she hit Emerald, so that's exciting. It's like her second week coaching, so.
Yeah, she's taken off like a rocket ship too. Congratulations, Melissa.
Yeah, even though she's not here, maybe she'll watch the recording and she'll hear us.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations. You guys are doing great, seriously. So many of you I can't even believe how, you know, you guys have come on and have been like coaches for like a week or two and are hitting like Success Club in your first week or two. And it is crazy. So you guys are doing an awesome job. You should be proud of yourself. You really should. Just keep it up and keep doing that month after month after month. And Kerri, I just can't thank you enough. Seriously, you did such a great job. You really are. You're such an inspiration to me and to so many people on the team. And I really appreciate you taking all this time out of your night. You're probably so tired from all your hours you have to work. But we really appreciate you taking the time. And we all learned so much from you. And you just are such a light on the team for everyone. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next Thursday night. Have a good one, guys. Bye.